Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have live tournament action coming at you right now, and it is going to be beginning here on Shattered Temple, MLG's version thereof. Before we get into this match, though, I would like to introduce my friend and co-caster for the evening. It is going to be Art of War's Giraffe. Giraffe, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty stinking well, considering we are in a semifinal match for this All-League tournament tonight. And I do want to mention, though, while we have time, that for people out there watching the live stream and that will be watching this YouTube video, you need to be checking out Art of War. This is a clan that is going places. These guys have got a lot of great things going. And Giraffe, now you founded this clan, is that correct?
Yeah, I did with a couple other members.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys are already doing some amazing things, especially for such a young clan. You're very, very organized, as well as a very, very mature clan in a lot of respects, and doing some great stuff. But another thing that I want to mention is that Giraffe does offer training. Now, he is a highly ranked master level player, likely to be a GM here in Season 4. And if you guys need to get some training done, please go check out Giraffe. I'll be posting his link in the live chat here in just a little bit, as well as we'll try and keep that posted on the YouTube video as well. So for those of you who are YouTubers. But,
awesome, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I also will be having my coaching put up on Zeke. I'm donating free hours every month to the Zeke admins for their Zeke tournaments. So they will be putting me up on the coaching page, which is pretty awesome. Most people, they do have to pay a certain amount. Sorry, Amplify's messaged me. Most people do have to pay a certain amount a month, but he is being generous and giving me some some free posting, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, good stuff, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, definitely check out Giraffe. Definitely check out Clan Art of War. And we'll get you those links out on the live stream and on the YouTube for sure. Now, let's take a look at our spawn positions here. It is going to be recent, spawning as our Teal Terran, who is currently walled off, trying to keep that pesky probe out of his base. He is going to have his first Marine out on the field here. Not in time to kill the probe, however, but he is here at the 9 o'clock position, or 8 o'clock position, I guess. And Karma down here at about the 6 o'clock. How about the 6:37 position? Is that what you'd call that, Giraffe?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit past 6:30, but yeah. This is gonna be really tough positioning for Karma. Having recent can do drops so easily. Like look at that distance. I would, if I were Karma, I would definitely be going for a quick Void Ray. It's really good in these positions, mainly because you can warp in so close, or blink stalkers, anything like that is so good in this. Because Terran's gonna have a huge advantage if they go bio. Those medevacs are gonna do so much damage, and they're gonna be extremely tough to deal with. Because you see how long the distance is from where they can drop on the left side here to their expansion. There's such a long distance. It's really tough to deal with.
I agree. And that's just one of the dynamics of this map. I mean, it's a relatively balanced map, but I mean, when it comes down to it, it's a fairly small map. Even in cross positions, it's not that long of a distance. And
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it tends to favor harassment style play.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, doesn't matter if you're doing Warp Prism harass, Medevac harass, Muta harass. It's all strong here, but Terran, of course, does get the longer end of the stick, being better at harassing. Medevacs are by far better than Mutas or Warp Prisms. Some people might debate that, but it's true. Yeah. There's not much to it, and it's not just because a Medevac's better than a Muta, for instance. It's more because the units inside stemmed 8 Marines and 4 Marauders. Are going to do a lot more damage than 8 Zealots. There's just going to be so much more damage.
Yeah, that's so true. And it looks like Karma is going to be putting on some serious 3-gate pressure here in just a moment. He does have his forward pylon all set up. We've got what looks to be only 8 Marines here so far for defense. Wow, I don't know. That may not quite be enough here. We do have 5 Stalkers now out on the field. I assume that Karma are going to wait for one more warp in here, though.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to warp in, either a couple sentries to choke those.
Ooh, going for the engage. Did take some real damage, but go ahead, yeah.
Stim is already half done, which is going to be so helpful. I don't know how I feel about Karma here. He's taking an expansion behind it, and of course the Terran expansion's already up though. It's one of the, it's tough to engage Terran up on a ramp because they do have long range shooting units and.
One Stalker did go down there too. I mean, he's taking losses here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He keeps throwing away units. He's going up the ramp, sniping one Marine, but losing a Stalker, and that's a terrible trade-off.
Right.
It's one of those things. Terran gets that advantage. They can scan up the ramp and do a little bit of damage. When Protoss, when you get that Observer is one of the best scouting tools in the game by far, but it does take longer to get than a scan. It's a lot more cost efficient, and it stays around forever. But it does take a lot longer to get, so it's hard to do that early pressure as Protoss,
Right. Yep, and now we do have a pretty decent-sized army here. We don't have the concussive shell quite yet, but I assume that's going to be going down right after Stim completes, which is right now. Yep, there goes the concussive shell. So good stuff, and Recent going to have a pretty nice bio army here for just a little bit. I love these infantry pushes. He did come over here and take out that forward pylon there, so Karma is going to be backed up to his base now. Map control is completely gone at this point. But you know what? Recent not really going. Oh, what? Never mind. Look at this. He is moving out right now. This is a nice looking force here too. And he'll get there. I mean, what do you call it? Concussive shells is going to be complete here in time for this push. So he's going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Karma may find himself in some serious trouble here in just a moment. Oh man, I don't know. He does have 4 zealots here. He's got to really keep good control over this army. But look at that. Recent backed out immediately. I don't know. You tell me, Giraffe. I mean, you probably know that unit composition a little bit better. Do you think that was a wise move there for Recent to go ahead and back out?
Yeah, I would say so. Karma does have a much... Well, he has a stronger army, but, Marine Marauder can do some crazy things. And very low sentry count. So, I don't know. It's touch and go. Of course, it is, Marine Marauder is a way better throwaway army than Sentry, Zealot, Stalker, of course, because there's so much gas invested in Sentry, Stalker, Zealot. But I don't know. It's a touchy subject. It looks like in the units tab, a little bit head and probes, but those mules are going to completely make up for it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Agreed. Swift out on the live stream actually saying, yeah, it's very debatable whether or not he should have pushed in there. And so my guess is that probably Recent was thinking the same thing. He probably even knew that it would be a close battle there. But, backing out is the safe move. And I think a lot of the times in tournament settings, the safe move is what a lot of people opt for. They try not to get too terribly aggressive, and make a mistake. But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of an interesting play. Now notice that Karma did clear out these rocks here. Probably going to be gearing up for a third here in a moment.
Yeah. I'm hoping to see, you see Twilight Council is going down now. The Robo is making a couple of Immortals, which is good because Immortals are just a beast of a unit. I'm amazed how, we do have a drop down here in the main and an attack coming from the front. This will, the attack from the front really won't do all that much, but that attack in the main will kill a lot of probes.
Yep, and he's going to get his opponent's army out of position, and he's going to come right into the main. Uh-oh.
A little bit of a lag here going. Yep. No problem. Oh my gosh, already like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 probes killed, just with 8 Marines. It's insane,
Yeah, it really
is. And then his main army just going to pull back. And I think, Karma is way ahead in the army value, but oh my gosh, that drop is still in there doing so much damage.
Still going. Taking out pylons.
Yeah.
This is brutal.
Yeah, very tough to deal with. And then he's just gonna stim away, load up, and get out of there.
Yep.
It's very tough to deal with. You need Blink or, even High Templar. They're not really that good to rely on because those medevacs really need a lot of energy for those High Templar to be good use.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Recent, like you said. Now this is interesting because he's really putting that pressure on using that close air positions. You can see him redropping the same drop here.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? They're so disposable. Reuse them.
Yeah, he's already done enough damage. I mean, if he loses them, the damage has already been dealt, and that's what's great. Oh, man. I don't know, but Talks Lonely out on the live stream saying he would like to see some counter drops, but I don't know, man. Here comes the main attack. Looks like Recent going to be in great shape here. Look at that micro. Do you see this micro from him?
Karma putting down some pretty poor force fields. Like he had a lot of zealots in the beginning, but he kind of threw them away without force fields. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna hold this. You know.
I don't think so either. Look
Recent
at that.
just having too many medevacs. Looks
Yeah.
like that's gonna be GG, unfortunately.
And luckily for Karma, it is a best of 3 here. But the thing about best of 3 is the pressure mounts very, very quickly.
Oh, it crazy amounts of pressure. As soon as you're down that one game, you're way less likely to do some sort of all in because you're really you don't want to rely on a DT rush. When if I'm up 1-0, I'll probably be a little bit more likely to do a DT rush or a proxy, dark. Proxy Templar archives or something like that, but
right.
I'm it really puts the pressure on. You really got to play your A game.
Yep, absolutely agreed. So thanks so much, guys, for coming out and watching. We'll be going into game number 2 here in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We do have a live tournament action coming at you right now. It is going to be game 2 in this semifinal matchup of tonight's Alt Arena Open. That is for your all-league players. We are going to be watching Karma versus Recent, but that is not the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. We do have Art of War's Giraffe on the line with us yet again. Having a good old time. How you doing, Giraffe?
I'm good. How are you?
Phenomenal. And so game 1 going to Recent because of just, oh man, ridiculous dropping and stimming and micro and bio ball phenomenalism or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, great play from Recent, and Karma already in the chat, right before this game, saying, man, I don't know, this is a tough matchup, and so he's a little bit worried about this matchup for himself. And I mean, I guess I don't blame him, but that's part of that pressure, I think, starting to mount in a best of 3. You've really got to make it happen fast. But Recent is going to be spawning here as our teal Terran, I should say. Up in the top right-hand corner, bottom left, we do have Karma spawning as our green Protoss. And he's already sending out a scout, a fairly early scout here from Karma wants to find his opponent right away. And try and gauge what's going on and potentially go for some proxy madness.
Oh, Karma, I really think he's going to be doing a 15 Nexus here. He still hasn't put down the gate. Yeah, definitely a 15 Nexus. Queuing up his 15th probe. I'm really happy to see this. I love this.
So that's why he chose this map. He wanted a long distance.
Yeah, I do it a lot on Shakura's. I don't do it that much on Tal'Darim because it's pretty tough to defend that expand. But especially with the cross position, it's gonna help him so much because you're gonna see the barracks is just finishing now. Yeah, it's just great. I love that 15 Nexus. I've been doing it almost every game against Terran where I can. Any chance I get the opportunity to. In the first game of this tournament, I ended up putting down that gate on Shakira's, and I was like, no, what am I doing? I need a 15 Nexus, and I'm still gonna believe that that's why I lost.
Because you didn't put your 15 Nexus down. Huh?
No 15 Nexus. I had to put it down at 22, and I was just not impressed.
Yeah. Brutal stuff, man. But now the scouting here from Recent, it's not necessarily late, but the earlier you can find that 15 Nexus, I guess potentially the better off you are. So he's going to be finding it here right around almost the 4-minute mark here. But
you're going to see he is going for 3 racks.
Yeah. So
there's
probably going to put some pressure on, huh?
Oh, and the 3 racks will hit well before Karma starts getting it saturated. He'll get some probes over there, but he'll be spending so much money on trying to get that economy rising. And a probe doesn't pay for itself until, I think, 2 minutes, 40 seconds or something. Oh, but it looks like Recent is putting up Command Center. I'd rather see a little bit of 3 racks pressure. He might still do that, but
it'll be just a little less than...
Yeah, it'll be a little bit weaker,
Mm-hmm.
He's putting down a tech lab now. Looks like he'll probably get a concussive shell. Maybe a stem. I wouldn't find a stem, but...
Yeah, go concussive shell first and put some pressure on with a couple Marauders, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad play. I mean, we'll see what he's got going for us here, but, I mean, Karma not going to be in bad position, especially since Recent not going to really bring the heat, I think, for trying to punish this early expand here. But it's difficult to punish, too. I mean, Recent... it's all you have to do is pull a couple probes sometimes, and be able to hold it off. And it turns out that even if you lose all of your probes to hold it off, you can still come out ahead economically.
That's exactly it. You know, if you have that base up on somebody, you can get those probes out so much faster, and that's why more and more I like to in my playstyle, I play so much more passive now. I try and just keep up in those bases, and worse and worse, I lose some probes or something. I'm still in an okay situation, you know. When if you're, you know, behind the base, you always have to put on that pressure, and it's a lot of stress, you know, having to always do that pressure. And if you don't, you know.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Now we do have what looks to be just zealots coming out on the field right now. We still do not have a new tech pattern here from Karma, so he's just going to be sticking with this for a little bit. Now, approaching the 7 to 8 minute mark, we need to see either a whole bunch of gateways here or a new tech pattern from Karma. So do you think he's fallen behind in that sense right now, or is he just, like, is he overcommitting to his, you know, to getting that economy roaring here?
You know, he's really playing ballsy right now. He's getting that economy going crazy. Tons of chrono boost on the economy, which is awesome, but very risky. Like, you're gonna notice he has nothing really that much. When recent, you know, his stim's almost done. That stim and timing push is gonna hurt so much with no force fields. You know,
Right.
Looks like he's gonna have one sentry out, but like, what? That's not gonna do that much. You know,
Yeah, especially on this map.
Yeah. But, you know, he is playing that really risky style of play, and it pays off. It completely pays off if you get away with it, right? It's just like saying, you know, going for those really early DTs. If it works, it pays off, you know? It's risky, but,
Right.
you know, sometimes you got to take risks.
As we were talking about that, he did choose his tech pattern here. It is going to be the robotics. You notice that he did stick it down behind his mineral line there, and is going to be putting down some more gateways here. I think exactly what he needs right now is to get a good amount of units up, because here comes an attack. Now, he does have this scouted. That's the nice thing. He does see it coming out across the map, but I don't know, man. Recent's got a great army composition right now.
Yeah.
But he didn't start concussive shells. Now, that's interesting to me. So he's going to go into this with no concussive shells.
But, you know, stim is going to be enough. Honestly, when you
Yeah.
have stim, you don't even kite that much anyways. See how this turns out?
Here it goes.
He's going to have a very strong Marine army, a little bit less Marauders, but, you know, that's great against his composition. You know,
Good
see, just
force
not,
fields.
they're great, but just not enough, you know? That's the problem with getting so many Zealots early. He's just going to be able to kite everything. However, that Immortal is going to pop out in good timing.
Yeah, the Immortal is going to be really key here. He's got to make sure and try and keep that alive. But look, they split this army here. He's getting his Marauders out of there and letting his Marines go in and try and nail that supply line. And he saved the Marauders there. Interesting play here from Recent.
Yeah. Well, you know, Marauders are so much more valuable than Marines. Marines are just throwaway. Why do you need them, right?
Yeah,
you think
true.
about it, 2 Marines is 1 Zealot, and no Protoss player has a problem with throwing away 4 Zealots use and economic damage, so why would somebody, you know, worry about throwing away 8 Marines, right?
That's
same
true.
cost, same supply.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
But honestly, I would be more hesitant to throw away 4 Zealots, because that's a pretty big warp in, right? When
Yeah. Yep, and we do have Karma gearing up what looks to be for his 3rd. Yep, he's going to be putting a Nexus down indeed right away. Recent going to be working on these destructible rocks here in just a moment. There he goes. Now he's got Now he's got those Marines under control. But I mean, great map control right now for both players. Really, when it comes down to it, notice that Recent does have these 2 forward Zelnaga towers, and still Karma holding this Zelnaga tower at the 3 o'clock of the center there. Not bad. I mean, he's definitely keeping tabs on his opponent well enough to know when an attack is coming, and that's going to serve him well. But we do have medevacs coming out on the field now, so my guess is Recent probably going to start to get a little bit harass happy. What do you think, Giraffe?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some. I'm always amazed with 2 things when Terran players don't do it, and I think it is because I am a Protoss player and I get that point of view. That's why I strongly recommend everybody to try playing every race, because, you know, at least to a certain, like, a diamond level, because it teaches you so much more about that race, like their weaknesses and their strengths. But I'm always amazed, like, every game when a Terran player doesn't drop me or doesn't get ghosts, regardless of my army composition. Ghosts are not that expensive, but they are just there's no unit that scares me more in a PvT. I'll see tanks, I'll see mass marine, I'll see mass marine marauder. None of that scares me. But as soon as I see that one ghost out, I'm like, oh crap, you know, I have to start doing a change of play, and I'm way less likely to confront them. And the main reason is because that one EMP completely makes my army so fragile, right? Because it takes away half the stalker's health. It takes away my Archons are completely useless at that point. And you know, I'm always surprised when a Terran player doesn't get either one of those, because they're so good. Drops are so powerful and they're so easy to pull off, right? Mm-hmm. So why not do them, right? Like it does take a little bit extra APM, but you know, suck it up, do that APM and win the game with it, you know?
Right. Now it looks like Recent is going to be. I don't know, why is he backing out here? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just going to try and do some drop harass. You know, he does have his third going up, so it's not like he's behind. He doesn't really need to commit, so why not just do a little bit of harass, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here he goes. Looks like he is going to drop the backside of the main. There are 4 Stalkers here already. Notice that we do have the Templar Archive complete as well as Storm on the way. So Storm going to be the DPS of choice here for Karma. Going to get a lot of kills back here at this mineral line.
A lot of probe kills. You know, he's going to bust out a few Stalkers too. You know, overall good. You know, if you drop 8 Marines, you kill, you know, a few probes and a couple Stalkers, it pays off right away, you know? Yep. And it's not only that that damage has been done, it's also the mining time that's being lost. You know, you're losing probes. You know, a probe for a Marine, that's a terrible throw-off because the Marine is going to make a new one. The probe, you're losing the probe plus, you know, 100 minerals of mining time over the next 2 minutes, you know? Or,
exactly.
Sorry, a little bit more than 2 minutes, about 4 or 5, but still, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, that's what adds up in this game, and we do have for Karma now a pretty nicely sized army though. He does have a good, well, 3 I guess high temps, which is not a bad number. He does have some Storm complete here. He's going to be in pretty decent shape. It's going to come down to micro, but I mean, look at this humongous ball of Marines, and with +1/+1 now, I think Recent still has got a lead here.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this is point match, or match point. Sorry, I get things mixed up. But match point here for Recent. I mean, if he takes this down, that's it. And Karma doesn't advance in this tournament at all. Gets no more shots. I mean, Karma has to take this win down right now. We do have Recent cruising back here to the 4th of Karma. Looks like that is definitely going to get denied. Karma not going to be able to defend that. That is for sure. He did get the cancel down there. Oh, I'm going to be elevatoring up here maybe a little bit. He's going to be dropping, but he's dropping the 3rd here right now. Going to be doing a good deal of damage. Charge lots there did take out a couple of those units, but man, this is so cost effective right now for Recent. Here he is dropping the main.
Oh my gosh, just drops everywhere. It's so tough to deal with. You know, Karma, the one, you know, he has a lot of sentries and a lot of high Templar, which just really don't do that well against drops. You know, they can't get over there fast enough. It's really hard to deal with it. He has no Stalkers. He can't take down those medevacs. You know, he has a couple Stalkers, but you know, it's so hard to deal with medevacs. And the thing is, what medevacs force you to do is they force you to get blink Stalkers, which are the last thing you want in PvT. Stalkers are terrible in PvT. You know, they're such a weak unit against any Terran unit, and you know, forcing them is, you know, it's also just like with the 1/1/1. It's why Terran players put in a big reason why they put in the Banshee is because it forces you to get Stalkers, and Stalkers you don't want against tanks. You know, you want Zealots and Immortals, and so it's all those things that they force you to get. And you know,
here comes the engage.
Lots of ghosts out. Oh, and all the sentries and high Templars bunched up. No split.
Oh, EMPs! Look at that. Gosh. There are no shields on these units.
Oh my goodness. But none of his EMPs hit his high Templars. Oh my goodness, those storms are doing so much damage.
Wow, look at all those units now in the red. He did get, looks like, did he get some feedbacks off on those medevacs too?
He got a couple of feedbacks off, but what I'm amazed is he didn't target any of the EMPs on the high Templar, just the sentries. And, you know, sentry energy does not compare to high Templar energy, you know?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, but I mean, we're not going to see any force fields, that's for sure. But, yeah, we still have... Oh, Storm's going down again, but we've got plenty of high temps, and we're going to see some Archons here in just a moment. Good Storm there. Here comes the flank from Recent.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough to deal with it. You know, it really came down to the fact that he did not hit those High Templar with his storms.
Yeah. Good storm again. Looks like, I mean, he's probably going to be able to hold on here, but the cost is really mounting, I think, at this point.
Yeah. He's losing a ton of SCVs. If you look at his second, just carelessness in there. He's not pulling his SCVs. He lost, you know, another warp in his zealots here. But I think he will hold. But you know, it's putting him behind a lot. Fourth base of Karma, but he is doing a drop, which will do some nice damage. Karma switching to Colossi tech, which is exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, Karma, I mean, really was fighting for it there, I think, for just a little while. But now, because of that engagement, I think he came back in a big way. And I think that you're exactly right. It came down to Recent's targeting the wrong unit with his EMPs there. But it looks like he is going to be taking a forward position on the map here. Clear out a couple of those pesky old forward pylons. Not a bad idea here. And keeping a forward position, even, I mean, he may even go for the try and deny this fourth over here, but keeping a forward position here for Recent is not a bad idea as long as he can keep his army safe and back out when it's time. And by the way, that time is about to be right now, so if he doesn't back out here, he may get himself caught. There he goes. Looks like he should be okay.
5 Colossi now up for Karma. Just a huge, huge transition, and that's exactly what we want to do. You know, keep the Terran on their heels, and get those DPS units out. You know, just Stalker Colossi, so powerful. Yeah. I don't like how many Stalkers he has out, but you know, it's not a big deal. You know, Stalkers can be all right with Blink. You know, snipe those ghosts, etc. Yeah. But
yeah, and he does have Blink on the way, so that will be helpful. But +3/+3 for the infantry on the way for our Terran player. We do have +2/+3 already complete here for Karma, and should be going for +3 attack here, I think, in just a little bit. Looks like Recent is going to cruise back in here and take out this fourth base.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I really don't like about Karma's play here is he's getting all those Colossi out, but he's not attacking with them. And now you'll see already in recent space he's getting tons of Vikings out. And you know, that's what you don't want to let a Terran player do. You don't want them to transition while you're transitioning into exactly what's going to counter it, you know? Because then you deny your fourth, and then now they're going to have a huge Viking count out, and it's going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah.
But his army might be big enough, you know?
It might be. He does have 3 Archons, it looks like, in his army there mixed in. Like you said, the 5 Colossus going to be super, super effective here. Probably could use a couple more Zealots maybe to tank some damage, but all in all, I mean, this is a really strong force here, a pretty decent death ball, if you will, from Karma, and it looks like he is going to be pushing this attack. Here comes the, wow, preemptive there with the Vikings, and too many going down too quickly. This is bad news.
Yeah. You know, Karma has Blink, but he's not utilizing it at all, but I don't think at this point he needs to, you know, just frying that Marine Marauder.
Yep. Yep, at this point, A-move is going to be just the right kind of micro.
Yeah, that's all you need, you know?
Yep.
So many Colossi coming out, tons of reinforcing Colossi.
Yeah.
Does he have 3 Robos pumping out? Well, not anymore. Oh, he did, though. He did have 3 Robos. Oh, my goodness.
Recent is dropping the back of his main, trying to take out as many unit-producing structures as he can here. He did take out a couple Robos, and here comes the cleanup crew for Karma. Looks like he is going to be able to do it. Karma did take out this natural expand here. The main is already mined out. Now he's going for the unit-producing structures here with way too many Colossus to deal with.
Just too many. But, you know, the thing is, if he takes out all those Stalkers, those Colossi are going to be sitting ducks.
Yeah, that's true.
And it looks like those Stalkers are going to go out.
But it is too late. There is the GG from Recent. And, wow, that evens it up here. So Karma now still in the running here. It is tied up 1-1 in this best of 3. And we'll be going into Game 3 here in just a moment. Press 1 if you love Game 3 in a best of 3. And thanks, Giraffe, for coming out, brother. We'll be getting back together here on Game number 3.
No, I don't know. I hate Terran as a race. You know, I have so much respect for Zerg players, but just... You know, I hate to say it, but almost none for Terran players, you know. As many friends, like, I'm pretty sure on our pro team right now, it's mainly Terran players, especially as it looks right now. Just getting a new Terran player the other day, but no, I'm just not a fan. And you know, it's mainly because I find Zerg an extremely tough race, and I have, like, tons of respect because it's a tough race to play. You know, Terran, it's not that I don't find them a tough race. I hate how all their stuff is so cost efficient. You know, a Banshee, a Banshee is just an amazing unit, you know, like by itself. I'm always surprised why Terran players, instead of like, why they don't get a late game Banshee, you know, why they don't, when they're on 3 base, just put down 1 starport and just get a Banshee. Like, that is so annoying to deal with, right? Suddenly a Banshee in your mineral line, like in the end of the game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that thing sniped like 20 of my probes on my 3rd base. You know, I would not be prepared to deal with it. And honestly, like, you just never see it, and I don't know why they don't do it, you know, because a Banshee late game is going to do a lot more than a Void Ray. You bring in a Void Ray, you know, Banshee's a 2-shot probes when a Void Ray takes a lot longer to kill an SCV, not to mention they don't have Cloak, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. But, yeah, I mean, this matchup right here, this is what's so much fun for me, is when we see 2 really good players, fairly evenly matched, and going at it here in Game 3 when it's all on the line in one game. It comes down to right here, right now, who's going to take it down and move themselves into position to potentially take down today's $20 cash prize, you know. And, I mean, Karma doing a great job coming back in that last game when he was really behind a little bit early on in the game, as well as having a lot of trouble in game number 1 against Recent. So, I mean, I feel like he's got kind of, if you will, he's gotten rid of his sea legs.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, Recent already working on a wall off here. He is spawning at the top right position. Karma spawning in the top left. He is green, and obviously Recent is blue. He does have his orbital command already up or already on the way, I should say, 50% complete there. And Marine on the way. Looks like he's going to be able to clear up this probe here in just a moment. And wow, Karma just trying to be pesky there, but notice he knows the timings and backs out there immediately. I love these guys. But Giraffe, I mean, tell us a little bit about what Art of War is going to be doing here in the near future. Anything cool?
Well, we've been expanding a lot lately, and when I say that, like, we've always been getting a steady flow of, you know, gold and platinum and diamond members, but lately we've been getting a ton of master players, a good 6 or 7 applications a day, which is pretty great. And we have actually just recently gotten actually a clan manager, a set manager, one who's very active, and he's definitely like going out of his way to do everything for us, which is awesome. Setting us up in a lot more clan wars, getting our name out there a lot more, and yeah, our pro team's been growing, not necessarily in size, but in skill. You know, we have a new Terran player, TA Salvation. We are looking at a few other players. We had 6 or 7 applications for the pro team, which is it's pretty strict application, you know, 1,000+ master. They also have to submit applications, a lot of other stuff. Stargate going down here. Yeah, I just noticed that. I really like that though. He is going for the 3-gate Stargate, which is a build I did a lot in Diamond League. I'm not, you know, I did it kind of just to burn up the ladder when I got my new account. But
so effective sometimes. All you have to do is take out Marines, and Marines are pretty stinking easy to kill. So
yeah, it's really once you get that Marine count to below 3, then
look at this engagement, man. Oh, that Stalker was not on A move.
Oh man, yeah, that Helion's going to be tough to deal with, especially considering, you know, he's going to pull back that sentry, but he's going to lose it, you know.
Well, yeah, and he's going to. Oh, good block there. Now he has got to keep this Hellion out of his base.
Yeah, because scouting that's going to do. And, like, the thing is, not only is this Hellion going to be annoying, but it's also the fact that it's going to be hard for him to move out, you know? It's going to be, you know, he does have that forward pylon there, but it's going to be a lot to deal with.
Oh, my goodness. And look at this. Recent tricking his opponent. They're doubling back. Karma thought that he had chased him off, but here he goes up into the base. Luckily for him, he's got 2 Stalkers.
Oh,
but
no,
not on
A-move again. Oh, my
goodness.
And now he's going to see the Stargate.
Yeah,
you know?
He sees it.
Oh. Did he see it? Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he did see it.
Yep.
And now that Void Ray just really not going to do much. He has no units up there. All his Stalkers were back at his base. You know, I hate to call an early GG, but, you know, 2 bunkers going down. He's going to put his Marines in there.
Yep. Great positioning on the bunkers, too.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's going to be very, very tough to deal with. You know.
Yeah, his best bet is right here, right now. I mean, he has got to get this done. With this, I mean, with this unit composition, I mean, he needs to deny these bunkers as quickly as possible.
He needs to take those SCVs out.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's gonna finish. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be tough now.
Yep. I mean, the bunker finishing, that's the key here for Recent. And, I mean, now he is going to be... He's in the most comfortable position that a Terran player can be in. That is defending against a unit mixture that you have perfect counters to. At your base, you don't have to micro units. You just camp next to bunkers. And so it's like...
I don't agree with this at all by Karma. He's putting up an expansion, but you'll see Terran expansions are already done, and he's kind of thinking, hey, he had to put up bunkers. I'm gonna be a little bit ahead, but he really isn't because he's just gonna salvage those bunkers, right? It's not bunkers aren't the same as spine crawlers or cannons. If I push out and I force the Zerg to put up 2 spine crawlers, I'll back up, no problem, right? But bunkers, you just salvage them, and you lost 25 minerals, big deal,
right?
At least the Phoenix is going to get away, which is nice. He's got a little bit of scouting intel. He's going to see that he is not ahead because the Terran player is getting those double mules out.
Yep. And he did see that their orbital command was already complete there, and so he needs to be feeling like playing very, very defensively at this point. This Nexus is going to complete here in very, very good time, but like you say, Recent in such a strong position right now with his mules. He could even one base this. He doesn't even need to really take his expansion if he wants to put some pressure on at this point.
Yeah.
And it looks like he may even be doing that right now. You see him salvaging bunkers, tossing down an extra factory, double factories, I should say. So this is, wow, big mech play here, it looks like. Wow, what do you think he's going for here? With 2 more factories, just mass tanks?
I don't know, to be honest. It looks like he's upgrading siege, so I'm assuming that's what it will be. A little bit of 2 base tank play. Oh man, that Hellion drop doing so much damage.
Oh wow.
I really would have loved to see a lot more harass with those Void Rays Karma had. He could have done so much damage with them. I don't know why he wasn't. Even just like you see how hard it is to deal with drops. Void Rays are the same. You put them behind the mineral line and just keep poking out. Yeah, the Viking will come, but a Void Ray does beat a Viking one-on-one,
Right.
And so, there's no... And they have shields, they're going to regen them, 2 Void Rays. I don't know. I feel he could have done a lot more damage to the Void Rays. No reason to keep him in the base. It's like having a DT. You're not going to leave it in your base. You're going to at least have it patrolling around, trying to snipe tower. You're not just going to keep it in your base. There's no reason. It's too expensive,
Yeah, well, I agree. And now he's in this wonky position where he doesn't have a good unit composition. His opponent is teching at will and going to be upgrading at will as well as expanding at will. He's already on his second base here. It looks like it is about to be fully saturated with nothing but mules. So beautiful stuff right now from Recent. This is going to be an impossible line to break at the natural right now. Look at that. Tanks up on the super high ground, takes on the high ground. Yeah, he's got control of this game, and he can make very, very safe plays at this point.
Yeah.
Do you have an observer coming out here for Karma? This is a nice looking unit composition for, I don't know, 3 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he's just a couple minutes behind his opponent, or even 20 seconds behind is big. But now we've got some Hellions cruising out across the map here. Looks like they're probably not going to be cruising up this ramp, I don't think, but definitely going to be maintaining decent map control here.
That's exactly what Hellions are really for, though, right? You got to remember that they're not, they're meant for harass and map control. They're not, meant so much like early game. They're meant for scouting, but not so much late game. You see, Terran is just going to scan. And he's going to see the army value. It's tough.
Yeah.
A warp prism coming out here, that would be nice. A little bit of harass. He's gonna, looks like warping some zealots.
Not a bad choice here. He'll be able to get this over to the mineral line with not too much trouble. There's not really any defense back here at the back, so as long as he can do some decent economic damage, that will be helpful. And he does have this Phoenix on patrol here, but look at this medevac cruising through here. It's going to see. No, he doesn't see the. Did not see the warp prism, and it looks like you may get the snipe on this medevac.
Yeah, and with only Marauders in it, you can't just drop them and kill it,
Yeah, with Hellions in it too.
Oh, Hellions! Sorry, I thought they were Marauders. I just saw the 2 supply, and I assumed,
He did drop them, but here goes the drop in the back. He dropped those Zealots to stop some mining time there for just a moment. I do like, Karma is definitely doing the right things here, I think, to try and pull back. But the trouble is now is that Recent is, now he knows, okay, so you want to try drops? Well, guess what? I'm going to have missile turrets all over my base, and he can afford to do that at this point. Last try here at the drop at the back of the main.
Yeah, not doing too much damage, but it is just nice harass. It forces the opponent to, worry a little bit more about things.
Now that Thor got stuck. Do you see this Thor? He's having to take out the engineering bay.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times this happened to me with Immortals.
Yeah.
But Immortals are the dumbest units in the game, so they're the Dragoon of Starcraft 2, so.
Yeah. Worst AI, right?
Not so much anymore now that they have 6 range, but oh my goodness. I can't tell you how much I hated them in post-patch. Pre-patch, sorry. Always dancing behind my stalkers, just having a dance party back there, not doing much.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, though. Icefire out on the live stream says, you know what, there's an easy fix to that Thor getting stuck there. He could have just lifted the factory.
That's very true.
So good tips. I mean, even pro players can get pro tips from Icefire. Icefire is a great player though. So, but I mean, these Hellions now in the base, they're doing a lot of damage here at the mineral lines. And
this is gonna force an all in.
Yeah.
I don't know, way too many stalkers for Karma. I hate seeing that. It's one of those things, I can't tell you how many times I see my students, just getting way too many stalkers, and it's like the first thing you have to correct,
Mm-hmm.
They're just not a good unit. Like, you think about it, a stalker against a roach, stalker against a marauder, they're always worse, They're
right.
really only used to counter the things they need to counter, which is like air, stuff like that, drops.
Yeah.
But
well, if you think about it too, Blizzard tells you right up front they're a support unit. They're not a core unit. They're a support unit. And so if you just take the initial design advice from Blizzard, you mix them into your army for specific support reasons, and that's exactly what you're telling us is they're for specific purposes. To counter some certain amounts of air, etc. But I mean, very rarely do they work super effectively as a core unit. I mean, yes, with Blink.
In PvZ, of course. In PvZ, of course, they're a great unit, right? Because they do outrange roaches and with Blink and stuff. But PvT, they're just not a good unit.
Right.
Not good at all.
Absolutely. Now, Recent is cruising out here with an extremely large force. He's got 4 Thors, 700 tanks. I think that's 700. I can't really count that fast. How many is that? It looks about like 700.
Oh, sorry about that. I dropped my mic.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's more the Thor count he's going for, which is gonna be tough. With this large stalker force, it's impossible to deal with that,
Yeah, I mean, Thors are going to brutalize the Stalkers pretty good, especially with the tank sieged up. The Stalkers aren't going to be allowed anywhere near the tanks at this point. I mean, yes, Stalkers do additional damage to armored, but you know what? They don't. They just barely got the +1 upgrade just now, and I don't know. I'd say Crucio shot cannons at 38 damage are going to be just slightly better at this point. The Void Ray is going to be okay for a moment, but the Thors will make fairly easy work of them. And Karma engaging right at just about the worst spot. All these tanks firing except for one.
He did take, he's going to win it. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, no, he lost all those Immortals, The thing is, Phoenixes would have been so helpful, but, it's going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been such a wonderful series between these two. I mean, back and forth between these guys. We've seen them really switch leads a couple times in these past 2 games. And I mean, maybe a little less so in this game, but
there's the GG.
Yeah, there's the GG from Karma. But we've got to give props to Karma for making it this far. He's done a lot of work. What a phenomenal player Karma is, and how much fun he is to watch as a Protoss. I mean, he reminds me of a good old-fashioned giraffe player in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Really fun to watch. He's got great map presence, things like that. But Recent, congratulations to that guy. He will be moving on to the finals. We'll go hit our other semifinal match here in just a moment. So don't alt-tab. Stay exactly where you are. Always alt StarCraft. We'll see you guys then.